Drake had told me about a herb that could eliminate heat. Its poison was neutralized by a specific leaf, making the herb usable. Drake also informed me that this leaf could be used to neutralize any poison. If a snake bit someone, making a cut on the bite site and applying this leaf would nullify the snake's venom. Initially, when I saw Drake, I felt pity for him, but now I realized that I felt small in front of this 4-foot dwarf. He possessed a vast ocean of knowledge that astonished even an experienced herbalist like me. Drake guided us safely back from the jungle. I realized that Drake knew all the paths of this jungle by heart. He led me and my servant safely out of the forest. I wished Drake would come home with me because, in my heart, I had accepted him as my teacher. I wanted to learn a lot from Drake. I had a sense that Drake was not what he seemed. He was a very mysterious person with powers beyond those of a witch doctor. However, Drake told me he was leaving and would meet me again soon. With that, Drake departed without even listening to my response. We stood in the jungle, looking around in amazement, but found no trace of Drake. I felt disappointed, thinking that since Drake was a mysterious man, we might never see him again. My servant and I began our journey back. After 3 days, I reached my city, Saharanpur, where my ancestors had practiced herbal medicine for 3 generations. I always had a steady stream of patients. 3 months passed quickly. The herbs I had brought back from the jungle were nearly finished, which meant I had to return to the jungle where I first met the astonishing Drake. This time, I had a new servant with me. After a long journey, we reached the same jungle. I began searching for herbs. After 5 p.m., darkness fell in the jungle because the thick forest made it difficult for sunlight to penetrate. We found a spot to spend the night and lit a fire for protection. We gathered enough wood to keep the fire burning all night, which kept wild animals at bay and protected us from the cold. It was 8 p.m., but it felt like midnight. I asked my servant to make tea since we had to stay awake and keep watch. While the servant prepared tea, I took out my special sweets that curbed hunger without any harm. We ate the sweets and started drinking tea. Suddenly, I felt that someone was approaching us in the dark, silent jungle. When the person came closer, I recognized him. It was Drake. After 3 months, I had finally met the mysterious and powerful Drake again. I stood up in joy.